I step into my apartment, the cool evening air a welcome relief from the stifling atmosphere at Hamilton Financial. My heels click against the hardwood floors as I make my way to the kitchen, already dreaming of a glass of wine, and take out after the grueling board meeting. That's when I hear them voices drifting from my living room, casual and animated, as if they have every right to be there. My hand freezes on the light switch. My sister Olivia's distinctive laugh rings out, followed by Rachel's eager voice chiming in about some resort. Mom's there too, her tone warm and excited in a way I haven't heard in months. I round the corner, my designer bags still clutched in one hand, and find them sprawled across my leather sectional like it's their personal planning committee. Glossy travel brochures litter my coffee table, and Rachel's laptop screen displays what looks like a luxury resort website. Val! Mom brightens when she sees me, but there's something off in her smile. We were just discussing the plans for my 65th. Plans? I set down my bag, a knot forming in my stomach. What plans? Olivia leans forward, her perfectly manicured hands gesturing animatedly. We've found the most amazing resort in Cabo. 8 days of pure luxury spa treatments, private beach access, sunset cruises. Mom's gonna love it. My mind floods with memories, each one striking like a physical blow. Last summer's solo trip to Europe canceled because Rachel needed help with her divorce lawyer's retainer. The director position I turned down because it would mean less flexibility for family emergencies. Christmas after Christmas of covering shared family gifts while my sisters contributed token amounts. The pattern is so clear, now every sacrifice demanded and accepted without question. You have to come to dinner tonight, Mom says, gathering her purse. We need to discuss all the arrangements. Eleanor's making her famous pot roast. 2 hours later, I sit at my mother's ornate dining table, surrounded by the familiar trappings of family gatherings. Crystal glasses catch the light from the chandelier, and photographs line the walls carefully curated moments of family history. The smell of pot roast fills the air, but my stomach is too tight to eat. So it's settled then, Eleanor announces, passing the green beans. We'll drop off the kids that Friday morning. I've written down all their scheduled soccer practice for the twins, Emma's dance class, and Charlie's allergies, of course. The crystal glass nearly slips from my hand. What kids? The children, dear. Mom dabs her lips with a napkin. All 6 of them. You'll be watching them while we're at the resort. The room seems to tilt on its axis. You're planning to leave me with 6 children under the age of 8 for 8 days? Well, you're so good with them, Rachel chimes in. And it's not like you have any other commitments. Not like you have any other commitments. The words echo in my head, each repetition stripping away another layer of denial about my place in this family. Every holiday spent cooking while they relaxed. Every financial emergency I've solved. Every time they've assumed my time was theirs to command. Have you even considered inviting me on this trip? The words come out barely above a whisper. Olivia laughs, the sound brittle. Val, be realistic. Someone needs to watch the kids. I sit there, paralyzed, as the conversation flows around me. The chandelier light suddenly feels harsh, the family photos on the walls more like an indictment than a celebration. My eyes move from face to face, Mom's practiced indifference, Olivia's casual dismissal, Rachel's eager compliance searching for any sign that they understand what they're doing. Any flicker of empathy or recognition. There is none. My hands rest on the white tablecloth, trembling slightly. Years of choices stretch behind me, and an impossible decision looms ahead. Do I swallow this betrayal like all the others? Or do I finally say enough? The answer feels just out of reach as I sit frozen in my chair, the happy chatter of dinner plans washing over me like acid. In this moment of paralysis, one thought cuts through the chaos with perfect clarity. Whatever I decide next will change everything. I sit at my desk, methodically sorting through financial records downloaded from Hamilton Financial's secure portal. The screen's blue light casts harsh shadows across my modern apartment as evening settles in. My fingers tremble slightly as I cross-reference each digital entry with the stack of printed emails and texts I've been secretly collecting. The truth emerges in cold, hard numbers. $4,500, my supposed contribution to Mom's celebration, scattered across a web of transactions. Restaurant charges at places I've never been, home repairs I never approved. And there, buried in the details, payments for the luxury resort that I'm apparently not good enough to visit. My throat tightens as I make precise notes in the margins, building my case. Annotation feels like another crack in the foundation of what I thought was familial love. The evidence doesn't lie. They've been using me as their personal ATM for years. My phone buzzes. A text from Olivia. Don't forget to check the kids' allergy lists before next month. Tet. I close my eyes, letting the weight of manipulation settle over me. The casual presumption that I'll fall in line, watch their children, fund their escapes. It's all there in black and white. The next morning, I arranged to meet my sisters at the Brood Awakening. The coffee shop's warm lighting and gentle buzz of conversation feel at odds with the storm brewing inside me. Olivia arrives first, perfectly coiffed in designer wear that I suspect I helped finance. Rachel trails behind, already wearing her signature look of concerned disapproval. We need to talk about the resort trip, I say as they settle into their seats. My voice sounds steadier than I feel. Olivia's smile freezes. What about it? I pull out the first printed email, sliding it across the table. Maybe we should start with how my contribution was actually spent. Oh, Val, not this again. Rachel leans forward, her wedding ring catching the light. You're single. You don't understand how expensive it is having kids. Family has to help family. Family, the word tastes bitter. I spread out more documents, each one a testament to years of exploitation. Is that what you call using my money for spa days and home renovations without my knowledge? Olivia's perfectly manicured fingers drum against the table. You're being dramatic. Everyone knows you're the responsible one, the successful one. It's not our fault you chose career over family. Chose? My laugh sounds hollow. Like I chose to cancel my Europe trip last summer to cover your divorce lawyer, Rachel. Or chose to turn down the director position because mom needed someone flexible for emergencies. That's different, Olivia snaps, her composure cracking. You're acting like we owe you something. You do. My voice carries an edge I've never heard before. You owe me respect, consideration, the basic courtesy of asking before you spend my money or volunteer my time. Rachel's eyes narrow. Just because you're alone doesn't mean... I'm not alone. The realization hits me as I say it. I'm just not your resource anymore. Olivia stands abruptly, her chair scraping against the floor. If you're going to be difficult about this, maybe you should skip dinner on Sunday. Give yourself time to think about your priorities. I gather my evidence, tucking each paper away with deliberate care. My priorities are perfectly clear, for the first time in years. They leave in a flutter of self-righteous indignation, but I remain at the table, hands wrapped around my cooling coffee. The cafe continues its gentle hum of activity around me, oblivious to the seismic shift that just occurred. For the first time, I've challenged the narrative they've written for me, the script they've expected me to follow without question. My phone lights up with a message from Marcus Reed, my colleague at Hamilton Financial. Noticed some unusual patterns in those transactions you asked me to review. Got a minute to talk? I text back a quick confirmation, feeling the first spark of validation. I'm not imagining things. The exploitation is real, documented, and about to meet its match. The afternoon sun casts long shadows across Crescent Grove Park as I settle onto my favorite bench beneath the sprawling oak tree. This spot has always been my refuge, a place where the gentle rustle of leaves drowns out the doubts that plague me after every family confrontation. My phone rings. Marcus. I've been reviewing those transactions, he says without preamble. His voice carries the measured tone I've come to associate with his most careful analyses. There's a pattern here that goes beyond casual financial oversight. 20 minutes later, I'm sliding into a booth at the Urban Nook, spreading my documentation across the worn wooden table. Marcus sits opposite me, his typically pristine suit jacket draped over the chair, sleeves rolled up as he pores over my evidence. Look at these timestamps. He points to a series of entries. The contributions weren't just misused. They were systematically diverted through multiple accounts. I've seen similar patterns with clients who've experienced financial exploitation. The word hits like a physical blow. Exploitation. I've been dancing around it, cushioning it with softer terms like misunderstanding or family dynamics. But Marcus's clinical assessment strips away the pretense. Back home, I sit cross-legged on my couch, a leather-bound journal open in my lap. Each entry documents another sacrifice. The promotion I declined because mom needed weekly help with housework. The savings I depleted covering Eleanor's mortgage payment. Christmas after Christmas of maxed out credit cards because sharing is caring. My chest aches with a familiar tightness as I trace the words with my fingertip. The meticulous record-keeping that I once used to prove my devotion now reads like a ledger of betrayal. Even my closest friends have grown distant, worn down by years of canceled plans and last-minute family emergencies. The silence of my apartment presses in, broken only by the soft tick of the designer clock, another shared expense I somehow ended up covering alone. My reflection in the darkened window looks different somehow. Tired, yes, but also resolute. The woman who documented every sacrifice is finally ready to acknowledge their cost. I return to my home office late that evening, rain pattering against the windows. The vintage desk lamp casts a warm circle of light as I spread out my evidence one final time. Something about Olivia's latest email thread catches my eye. A phrase about additional fund allocation that seems oddly formal for my usually casual sister. My hands steady as I begin to decrypt the careful language, cross-referencing dates and amounts. The pattern emerges slowly at first, then with stunning clarity. This isn't just about babysitting duties or vacation expenses. The emails reveal a calculated scheme to maintain control over family assets, with my resources as the primary target. I save the document, then print a copy with trembling fingers. The evidence feels heavy in my hands, heavier than paper should be. Perhaps because it carries the weight of revelation, this betrayal runs deeper than I ever imagined, and nothing will ever be the same. My phone buzzes against the glass desk for the 100th time this morning. Rain pelts the windows of my corner office at Hamilton Financial, matching the storm brewing in my inbox. Olivia's latest Facebook post glares up at me from the screen. Some people forget everything that's been done for them. When you've sacrificed everything for your family, only to be betrayed. Number toxic people, number ungrateful. The timestamp reads 9:03 a.m. She's been at this for hours already, each notification a fresh wound. I scroll through the comments, my throat tightening as distant relatives and family friends pile on with their accusations. Aunt Margaret, who I haven't seen since Christmas 3 years ago, has written a paragraph about family loyalty. Uncle Steve, who needed a loan last summer for his new boat, calls me selfish. A new message pops up in the family group chat Forever Family. Rachel this time sharing screenshots of emails I sent last year when I couldn't make it to her son's birthday party. I was in London closing $1 million deal for the firm. The deal that helped pay for her divorce lawyer 2 months later. Remember this? She writes. Always too busy for family. Now we know where Val's priorities really lie. My hands tremble as I set the phone face down. The polished surface of my desk reflects a woman I barely recognize, hair perfectly styled, designer blazer immaculate, eyes haunted. The morning light catching on my silver pendant seems to mock the chaos erupting across my social media accounts. A text from my mother. Eleanor is devastated. How could you do this to the children? The glass of water by my keyboard ripples with each shaky breath I take. Inside my chest, something that's been bending for years finally threatens to snap. I pick up my phone again, open my voicemail. 3 new messages. Val, it's Jessica. My cousin's voice drips with manufactured concern. I just can't believe what I'm hearing. After everything your sisters have done for you. Delete. Valerie Marie Thompson, you call me back this instant. Delete. Hey, it's Marcus. The familiar voice of my colleague cuts through the noise. Saw the posts. Let's grab coffee. You shouldn't be alone right now. My finger hovers over the delete button, then drops. Through the rain-streaked windows, I watch the city pulse with morning traffic. Each car represents someone moving forward, someone choosing their own direction. The thought hits me with startling clarity. I've spent so long being the family rock that I've forgotten how to move at all. A new notification lights up my screen. Olivia again, this time sharing photos from last Thanksgiving. There I am in the background, cooking while everyone else poses for pictures. Carrying dishes while they open presents. Always in motion, always in service, never really seen. The trembling in my hand stills. I close my eyes, draw in a breath that feels like the first one I've taken in years. The rain drums against the windows, a steady rhythm that drowns out the chaos of notifications. In this moment of quiet, something shifts inside me, a fault line finally giving way, revealing bedrock I didn't know I had. My phone rings, startling me. Benjamin Carter's name flashes on the screen. My old mentor, retired now, someone I haven't spoken to in months. I answer before I can think better of it. Valerie. His voice carries the same steady authority I remember from my early days at the firm. I saw what's happening. Are you all right? I'm fine. I say automatically, then catch myself. Actually, no, I'm not. Good. The word surprises me. That's the first honest thing you've said to anyone in years, isn't it? The truth of it hits like a physical blow. I sink into my chair, clutching the phone tighter. Listen carefully, Benjamin continues. I've watched you build your career on precision and integrity. You analyze million-dollar deals without flinching. Yet you let your family treat your life like a resource to be mined. Why? They're family, I whisper, but the words sound hollow even to me. Number. His voice carries the weight of experience. They're people who've learned that your strength is profitable to them. There's a difference. Something breaks loose in my chest knot, the snap I feared earlier, but a release, like a knot finally coming undone. What do I do? You do what you've always done best, Valerie. You strategize, you plan, and then you act with the same precision you bring to every other aspect of your life. I'm already reaching for a pen, muscle memory from countless meetings with him kicking in. I need to meet Marcus, I say. I need to start gathering evidence. Now that sounds like the Valerie I mentored. Pride colors his voice. Remember, your compassion isn't weakness, but it's time to extend some of that compassion to yourself. The Urban Nook's warmth wraps around me like a blanket as I push through the door 30 minutes later. Marcus waves from our usual corner booth. 2 steam already waiting. The coffee shop's familiar scent of roasted beans and pastries grounds me as I slide into the seat across from him. I ordered your usual, he says, pushing a mug toward me, though I'm thinking this conversation might need something stronger than a cappuccino. I wrap my hands around the warm ceramic, letting it chase away the last of the morning's chill. I need your help, Marcus. Already on it. He pulls out his tablet, turning it to show me a carefully organized folder structure. I've been documenting every post, every comment. And I've got contacts in legal who specialize in cases of financial exploitation. Whatever you need, Val, you're not alone in this. The lump in my throat makes it hard to speak. I take a sip of coffee instead, using the moment to compose myself. I need to build a case, I say finally, not for legal action, not yet, but I need to understand exactly what's been happening. All of it. Marcus nods, already typing. Start at the beginning. Every financial transaction, every emotional manipulation. We'll map it all out. Later that night, I sit in my study, surrounded by the evidence of years of systematic exploitation. My laptop screen glows with folder after folder of screenshots, financial records, text messages, each one a small betrayal, now organized into a damning pattern. The rain has stopped, leaving the city windows streaked with trails that catch the light from nearby buildings. I've been at this for hours, methodically building a case that would make any of our firm's auditors proud. Every sacrifice, every manipulation, every moment I said yes when I should have said no, all of it, documented and dated. A new email notification breaks my concentration. From Olivia, sent to an address I don't recognize. My cursor hovers over the forward icon. She must have included me by mistake. The subject line reads, Special Fund Allocation. I open it. My breath catches as I read, then read again. The coded language is subtle, but after 15 years in finance, I know exactly what I'm looking at. A secret account, multiple transactions, a pattern of financial maneuvering that explains so much about the past few years. My hands are steady as I hit print. The evidence I've gathered tonight is a foundation, but this email, this is the key that will unlock everything. I stand, walk to my window. The city sparkles below, 1,000 lights reflecting off rain-slick streets. Somewhere out there, my family's probably still posting, still plotting, still certain of their control. They have no idea what's coming. The polished interface of Pacific Paradigm Travels fills my laptop screen, their exclusive resort collection a sharp contrast to the oppressive silence of my apartment. My fingers hover over the confirmation button as I review the details one final time. The Royal Hawaiian Hotel, Waikiki Beach, oceanfront suite with private balcony. 8 days of freedom wrapped in luxury, the exact same length as their precious family vacation. I document every transaction meticulously. Flight reservations, hotel confirmation, even the private car service from the airport. Each receipt gets immediately filed into an encrypted folder, building my arsenal of evidence one PDF at a time. The satisfaction settles deep in my chest as I compose 2 separate encrypted emails. Marcus's response arrives first. All systems go. Ready when you are. Asterisk. Benjamin's follows moments later. Op-ed drafted. Just waiting for your signal. Asterisk. My phone buzzes again the 7th time in an hour. Olivia's name flashes across the screen, but I let it go to voicemail. Instead, I open the family group chat she's dubbed Forever Family and watch the messages pour in like digital venom. Valerie, this is completely unacceptable. You can't just disappear when the family needs you. Asterisk. Mom is devastated. How could you be so selfish? Asterisk. Rachel's contribution comes next. A poorly edited photo of me from last Christmas, annotated with snide comments about family loyalty. The image spreads across our extended family's social media like a virus, accompanied by increasingly hostile speculation about my character. She follows it with a barrage of doctored images, each one designed to paint me as the ungrateful sister, the family traitor. My hands don't shake as I document each post, each comment. Let them show their true colors. Have you seen what they're posting? Marcus's voice crackles through my AirPods. It's getting ugly out there. I've seen it. I minimize the family chat and pull up the counter campaign we've prepared. Are you ready? Everyone's in position. Benjamin's op-ed drops in the Metro Times tonight, and I've got screenshots of every manipulative text they've sent you for the past year. Just say the word. I think of the carefully cultivated image my sisters have built, the perfect daughters, the devoted mothers, the pillars of our community. Do it. The response is immediate and overwhelming. Numbers stand with Valerie trends locally within hours as Marcus releases his timeline of evidence. Benjamin's piece cuts through their carefully constructed narrative like a scalpel, exposing the years of financial and emotional exploitation. Comments pour in from colleagues, community leaders, even family friends who've witnessed their behavior firsthand. My cousin Jonathan's message catches me off guard. I had no idea it was this bad, Val. The way they treated you. I'm so sorry, asterisk. The family video call that evening is a masterclass in disintegration. Aunt Margaret's pinched expression fills my screen as she demands explanations. Olivia, these messages they're sharing, did you really expect Valerie to pay for everyone's Christmas gifts last year? You don't understand. Olivia snaps, her voice trembling with barely contained panic. A glimpse of Rachel appears in another window, her face flushed with anger. Need what? Rachel cuts in, her voice sharp with fear. Shut up, Olivia. The video glitches, freezing on their expressions of mounting horror as their united front crumbles in real time. Years of careful manipulation unravel in minutes. Through it all, I sit in silence, letting their own words do the work for me. Later that night, thunder rolls outside my window as I sort through my digital archives in my private study. The email from Olivia catches my eye, one I'd nearly forgotten about from 6 months ago. My breath catches as I read it again, seeing the detailed instructions for manipulating family funds with new clarity. My hands tremble slightly as I hit print. The pages emerge warm from the printer, each one more damning than the last. I create a new digital folder labeled Final Evidence and secure the physical copies in my safe. Every calculation, every scheme, every manipulation laid bare in black and white. The thunder crashes again as I prepare my public statement, detailing the full extent of their betrayal. My phone lights up with a text from Marcus' live stream scheduled for tomorrow. Are you ready to end this? Asterisk. I look around my quiet apartment, thinking of the oceanfront suite waiting for me in Hawaii, of the freedom that's finally within reach. Lightning splits the sky, and this time it feels like applause. Ready, asterisk? I text back. Time to finish what they started. Asterisk. I close my laptop and walk to the window, watching the storm rage outside. Tomorrow, I'll deliver the final blow of evidence that will shatter their facade. But tonight, I savor the calm before my own storm, knowing that for the first time in years, I'm the one holding all the power. The Royal Hawaiian confirmation email chimes on my phone. 8 days of peace waiting on the other side of tomorrow's war. I smile, thinking of my sisters scrambling to contain a situation that's already far beyond their control. Let them try to spin this. Some things just can't be manipulated back into place. I stare at my phone screen, watching the notifications flood in. Olivia's latest attack unfolds in real time, a carefully crafted legal notice from Preston and Associates threatening action over breach of familial financial agreements. The timestamp reads 10:03 a.m., right on schedule. Rachel's social media barrage follows 3 minutes later. My sister's performative grief spreads across Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter like a choreographed dance. Family means supporting each other, she writes beneath a strategically edited video clip of last Christmas. The footage conveniently cuts before I handed her a check for her divorce lawyer. The Forever Family group chat erupts with a symphony of message alerts. I watch the manipulation unfold with clinical detachment. noting how Olivia's carefully worded email to the extended family lands in my inbox at precisely 10:15 a.m. The subject line reads, "Urgent, concerning Valerie's recent actions." My home office feels different today. The sleek ergonomic chair that usually cradles me through long work days now serves as my command center. The wall of windows behind me offers a panoramic view of downtown, but my focus remains fixed on the 3 monitors before me. Marcus Reed's message pops up in my private chat. "Everything's in place. Benjamin's got the financial records ready." I check my watch, 2:45 p.m. In 15 minutes, the Atrium Conference Center's modern glass facade will welcome hundreds of media representatives and community members. My throat tightens, but my hands remain steady as I gather the dossier of every manipulative text, every coerced financial contribution, every twisted family narrative meticulously documented and cross-referenced. The drive downtown passes in a blur of steel and glass buildings. When I step into the conference center's lobby, the familiar click of my heels against marble grounds me. The sound echoes differently, now no longer the footsteps of someone rushing to solve another family crisis, but the measured stride of someone about to reclaim their power. "Ready?" Benjamin asks, appearing at my elbow with the presentation drive. I nod, my fingers brushing against the small silver pendant at my neck, a habit I've carried since childhood. But today, it's not a nervous gesture. It's a reminder of every moment that led to this one. The conference room buzzes with anticipation. Camera shutters click rapidly as I take my place at the podium, the weight of the dossier solid and reassuring in my hands. The projector hums to life, and the first screenshot appears on the massive screen behind me, Olivia's threatening email from this morning, timestamp intact. "Good afternoon," I begin, my voice carrying clearly through the room. "Today, I'm here to tell you a story about family, about power, and about truth." The presentation unfolds like a precisely executed chess game. Each piece of evidence lands with devastating impact. Rachel's manipulated social media posts juxtaposed against reality. Financial records revealing years of systematic exploitation. The group chat messages that show the calculated nature of their emotional warfare. The audience reaction shifts from professional interest to stunned silence as the pattern emerges. In the third row, I spot my mother's closest friend, her hand pressed against her mouth. 2 local news anchors scribble furiously in their notebooks. A business reporter I recognize from the Hamilton Financial Press Circuit is already typing on his laptop. This morning, I continue, pulling up the legal notice. My sister attempted to threaten me with legal action. Let's examine exactly what these familial financial agreements entail. The next hour passes in a blur of revelations. Each disclosed document, each played recording, each financial transaction projected on the screen serves as another nail in the coffin of their manipulation. The narrative they've carefully constructed over years crumbles in real time, and I stand in the aftermath, finally able to breathe. When I finish speaking, the room erupts in questions. Reporters call out for clarification, details, reactions, but I'm already gathering my materials, my part in this performance complete. The evidence will speak for itself now. In the elevator down to the parking garage, I check my phone one last time. The forever family chat has fallen silent. My email inbox shows 3 urgent messages from Olivia's law firm, not Preston and Associates this time, but her actual employer. Rachel's social media accounts have gone dark. The next week passes in a whirlwind of legal proceedings. Samantha Brooks, my attorney, systematically dismantles their defenses in court. The financial records Benjamin provided become front-page news. Local business leaders, who once smiled politely at my family's galas, now publicly denounce their actions. The bank has frozen several accounts pending investigation. They're scrambling. Samantha tells me over coffee, sliding another stack of documents across the table. 3 board members have already reached out to distance themselves from your sister's firm. The final confrontation happens at Willow Grove Estate, where it all began. The grand house looms against the darkening sky as I pull into the circular driveway. Inside, the familiar crystal chandelier casts shadows across concerned Facis extended family, board members, community leaders who've known us since childhood. Olivia and Rachel stand near the fireplace, their usual confidence replaced by something harder, more desperate. Mom sits in her favorite armchair, looking smaller than I remember. "You've destroyed this family," Olivia says, but her voice wavers. I meet her gaze steadily. "Number, I've exposed what was destroying it all along." The room falls silent as I methodically address each person, each betrayal, each manipulation. Years of financial records spread across the antique coffee table. Aunt Eleanor gasps at the sight of her own signature on a document she never fully read. Uncle James stares at the floor. This ends now, I say, my voice carrying to every corner of the room. The exploitation, the guilt, the endless demands of it. Later, I stand alone on the veranda, watching storm clouds gather above the manicured gardens. The sealed envelope in my hand contains one final piece of evidence proof of financial misappropriations that would shatter what remains of our family's facade. Thunder rumbles in the distance as I trace the envelope's edge with my finger. Behind me, the murmur of voices continues, a Greek chorus of shock, regret, and whispered revelations. But out here, in the gathering storm, I stand at a crossroads. The question isn't whether they'll ever understand what they've done. The question is whether understanding would change anything at all. The ocean breeze caresses my skin as I step onto Waikiki's pristine shore, my bare feet sinking into sand that feels like crushed velvet. Dawn paints the sky in watercolor strokes of pink and gold, and the rhythmic crash of waves drowns out the last echoes of my family's manipulative voices. This moment, this perfect, peaceful moment, belongs to me alone. I adjust my sun hat and settle onto my beach blanket, watching early morning surfers carve through waves that glitter like cut crystal. 3 weeks into my Hawaiian escape, and I still can't quite believe I'm here. The weight that you press against my chest has lifted, replaced by something lighter, freer. The morning stretches before me like an unopened gift. In 2 hours, I'll head to the Aloha Clay Studio, where James, my instructor, is teaching me to shape clay into delicate vessels that seem to capture light itself. My latest pisa bowl with waves etched into its rim sits in the kiln, waiting to emerge transformed. Like me. My phone buzzes. Marcus Reed, my travel consultant, has sent the final itinerary for my upcoming European adventure. Paris in June, then a meandering path through Tuscany's sun-drenched hills. No family emergencies to derail these plans. No guilt-laden phone calls demanding my presence, my money, my soul. The sun climbs higher, and I gather my things, heading back along the shore. A young woman struggles with her beach umbrella, and I pause to help her anchor it in the sand. Her grateful smile triggers a memory. Me at her age, always rushing to solve everyone else's problems, measuring my worth in sacrifices made. I want to tell her what took me years to learn, that kindness shouldn't require self-erasure. Instead, I wish her a beautiful morning and continue my walk, my steps light against the dampened sand. Back in my hotel room, I catch my reflection in the mirror and pause. Gone is the tense set of my shoulders, the worried crease between my brows. The woman who stares back at me stands straighter, her gaze clear and unflinching. I think of that paralyzing moment at Mom's dinner table, when the weight of their expectations nearly crushed me. Now their demands feel as insubstantial as sea foam. The afternoon sun floods my balcony as I settle in with my laptop to review the latest financial reports from Hamilton. Benjamin Carter's email sits in my inbox note celebrating my team's successful quarter. No manipulation hiding between the lines, no subtle dig about family obligation, just straightforward appreciation for work well done. My phone chimes with a text from Rachel. I notice my hands don't shake anymore when I see her name. I delete the message unread, a simple act that once would have sparked days of anxiety. Now it feels as natural as breathing. Evening finds me at the Urban Nook, a cozy bistro where warm lighting turns everything golden. Marcus raises his glass in a toast, his eyes crinkling with genuine warmth. To new beginnings, he says, and our small group allies who stood by me through the storm echoes the sentiment. Benjamin shares a story about his own family breakthrough, and Lisa describes her latest art exhibition. Their laughter and support wrap around me like a familiar blanket, proof that family isn't defined by blood, but by choice. Later, in my hotel suite, I approach the antique key displayed in its handcrafted glass case. Mother's gift, once a chain disguised as trust, now transformed into a symbol of my liberation. I run my finger along its intricate pattern, remembering how it used to burn in my pocket like a brand of obligation. Tonight, it's just a key. Beautiful, perhaps, but powerless to lock me into anyone else's expectations. The evening air draws me to my balcony. Below, tourists stroll along Kalakaua Avenue, their voices carrying up on the breeze. The sun dips toward the horizon, painting the sky in brilliant oranges and purples that seem to set the whole world ablaze. I lean against the railing, letting the peace of the moment wash over me. This is freedom, not the absence of responsibility, but the power to choose which burdens to carry. This is evolution, not the severing of all bonds, but the strength to forge connections that nurture rather than drain. As the last light fades from the sky, I smile, knowing tomorrow brings another day of choices that are entirely my own.